This week on NCTV, we'll take you to two very special ceremonies honoring veterans of America's wars.
What's taking place here in Macon County today is a roadside state marker marking the date when the 101st did their major blocking action against the 6th Cav during the Tennessee maneuvers, June 15th of 1943. They were in the first of the 5 major maneuvers, and their job was to block any northern aggression from the Red Army that was coming north. And that's what we're going to commemorate today, the unveiling of that marker.
And what exactly were they doing back in the 1940s right here specifically in Macon County?
There were 22 counties, including Macon County, that were part and parcel of the Tennessee maneuvers. There actually were 3 maneuvers: Louisiana, California, and Tennessee. 850,000 troops came through, 25 full division came through Tennessee in about a 2-year window of time. So this whole country was covered up with soldiers, bivouac areas, encampments, aggressing activity, simulated fighting, that type of thing. And part of that today was, that we'll commemorate today, was the fact that tanks from the Red Army were moving north, and the 101st was to jump in with anti-tank guns and stop their movement beyond here on into Kentucky. So that's basically the tactical side of it, but we just wanted to make sure that everybody knows it, and unveiling of the marker right here is very important.
Macon County was proud to be part of 22 counties in Tennessee by hosting camps. All over Macon County we had camps, and this enabled the soldiers to receive much needed military training. Not only did they receive this while here, but they also received hometown comfort, support, and love given freely by patriotic citizens. Our contributions helped prepare these soldiers and thus help win the war.
I think any time that we can bring the current generation of Americans to a place where it's just a marker or something on the wall that they can see, something significant happened here, and because of what happened here, something really significant happened overseas, and the service and sacrifice that went along with that. I think that's really important. I don't think veterans ask for much, but I do think they want to be remembered, and especially those that gave the ultimate sacrifice. I think the nation owes them remembrance. I think they were essential. A lot of the techniques we were using, the tactics that we were about to employ in France and then Holland and ultimately in Germany, we hadn't really practiced them on a wide-scale level. And if we hadn't done it over here, we would have run the risk of doing that in England, and I think the chance of spies and people figuring out what we're about to do and how we're organized, I think that it just wouldn't have worked. And even today in the modern Army, we have to do rehearsals, and it's a lesson learned every time we don't. You'll come back afterwards and say, oh, why didn't we do rehearsals, or why didn't we do them better? And during the rehearsals, when you really think through, well, what if this happens, or let's do this better, and we need this, that, and the other. So they're absolutely essential.
What our office does is we advocate for veterans. We help them in their claims assistance and burials, and we help connect them with jobs, employment, and business resources. But another important part of what we do is we honor veterans, and we find out their stories, and it's so important to pass those on because our future generations need to know that freedom is not free, and it was paid for with the blood of the American men and women who are willing to raise their right hands and serve our country. And the Tennessee maneuvers were instrumental in the outcome of World War II. So we have not only national history, but state history as well. Well, for this community, it's huge. Obviously, this is a small area, but for them to commemorate their contributions to World War II, where it wasn't just Tennessee soldiers that were coming here to train, they came from around the country. And, there were city boys that had never even seen a cow before, but for all of them to come here and do this kind of training, it provided them the realistic training that helped them succeed in the European theater.
In a situation like this, in a setting like this, do you still kind of get goosebumps a little bit any time that you go to something like this?
Oh, absolutely. I have a very dear part of my heart that goes out to World War II veterans, and every chance I get, I honor them and just love to hear their stories. So to come out here and see some of the veterans here that can appreciate the significance, and it's important that something like a historical marker can help open up the conversation, and it starts to help tell that story.
Earlier, descendants of Revolutionary War soldier Henry Wakefield gathered in Red Boiling Springs to honor his memory and contributions.
This is a grave marking event for Henry Wakefield, who fought in the American Revolution. He is buried in this cemetery, and the grave marking events are done by Sons of the American Revolution, Daughters of the American Revolution, and I think a few other patriotic organizations as well. This one is being sponsored by the Gallatin chapter of SAR, which is the Colonel Anthony Bledsoe chapter.
Talk about just how important it is to remember someone. He's obviously been deceased for a couple of centuries now, but still, why is it so important to remember those who have fought for us all those years ago?
Those people are part of identity. They're part of our identity. They're part of who we are as family, as people. Henry Wakefield fought at the Battle of Kings Mountain over in North Carolina. He was wounded in the battle, but he healed and he went back to fight more in the Revolution. He was a part of a family that owned a big piece of property in North Carolina. He was a part of a group that petitioned to have a new county, Burke County, started in North Carolina. After the Revolution, he was a part of a committee that appeared in court to testify on who had been Tories or British sympathizers during the war. That's a part of our identity, and we're proud of it.
Now, why is he buried here in Macon County?
He's buried right here because this was the Wakefield farm. Wakefield's married into the Kirby family, and the water tower that's right next to this cemetery says C.A. Kirby on it. They owned this land after the Wakefields owned it because they were married into the Wakefield family. It's a great day for us. It's a very special day. I have 2 sons here and their families, so I have grandkids here also, and I want them to know about Henry Wakefield and the heritage they have.
And what does it say too, just about the men who are dressed in period costume, I guess you could say? I mean, they're taking this very seriously. What does that mean to you and your family?
Well, they wear Revolutionary War regalia. They wore uniforms and dress like Revolutionary War soldiers dress. So it gives a little bit of authenticity to the day. And so it's additional meaning. It's interesting, especially for my grandkids. They like seeing these guys. And in fact, I have grandkids in little 3-cornered hats and little bonnets from the Revolutionary War period.
Overall, how special of a day is this for you?
Oh, it's a great day. I've been here before. Henry Wakefield means a lot to me, and it's just a very special day for me, yeah.
Ready your fire line! Fire!
Honoring those who fought for our freedom, Macon Countyans never forget the sacrifices made. Reporting in Macon County, Barry Hiett, NCTV.